Hey friend, welcome back. This is the Daily Spark and I am so happy to have you here with me today. So I have a little confession.
Right.
I was standing on my balcony late last night, shivering in my pajamas, just staring up at the sky. My coffee had gone completely cold, but I couldn't look away. I was locked on this one tiny rusty orange dot.
Ah, the red planet. That little orange dot has a strange way of grabbing your soul, doesn't it?
It really does. I stood there thinking, that is a whole other world.
Right.
Real mountains, real valleys, just floating there. But honestly, then I got this heavy feeling. It felt terrifying. It just seemed so far away and impossible.
That fear is actually a very healthy instinct, Ryan. It means you respect the physics. Space is not exactly friendly.
Friendly? It sounds hostile. And honestly, trying to understand how we get there, it gives me a headache. Sometimes, reading about space feels like everyone is speaking a secret language that I didn't study in school. So today, we are going to fix that. We are dropping the confusing math. We are just going to have some real talk.
I like that plan. Look, if you can understand the planning for a weekend camping trip, you can understand Mars.
Now that is a promise I can get behind. We are going to separate the science fiction from the science fact about our future. So today, we are going to fix that. We're just going to have some real talk.
To help us figure this out, we have a very special guest in the studio today. Please welcome Dr. Leo Vance. He is a Planetary Habitat Architect.
Leo, that title sounds incredibly fancy. It sounds expensive. What do you actually do all day?
Honestly, it sounds exciting, but I mostly worry about air conditioning and recycling water. People hear my title and think I build giant spaceships. But really, I design tiny, high-tech apartments for places where the air literally wants to kill you.
That is the best and scariest job description I have ever heard. So let's start with the big question everyone asks whenever they look at the night sky. Have you ever looked up at the red planet and thought, could I actually pack my bags and live there?
Every single day. It's the dream, right? But here's the thing about living on Mars. Movies show us these giant, white, clean cities with flying cars and robots serving coffee. But the reality, well, it's gonna be a lot more like a very long, very dusty camping trip.
Camping? Really? I was expecting you to say futuristic luxury laboratory. I mean, I'm terrible at camping. The last time I went, I forgot the can opener and had to eat beans with a rock.
See, that's exactly my point. Think about it. When you go camping, you bring your own tent, you bring your own food, you have to find water, and if your tent breaks or you forget that can opener, you're in big trouble.
Right. But if I forget my tent poles here on Earth, I just sleep in the car. Or I drive to the convenience store. On Mars, well, there's no car to sleep in, and definitely no convenience store down the road.
Exactly. There's no backup plan. It's the ultimate DIY project. Do it yourself or you don't survive. Imagine that camping trip, but the nearest supermarket is 140 million miles away.
Wow, that puts a lot of pressure on your designs then. No pressure, right? So let's break down this camping trip, step by step.
So let's get real. Is a trip to Mars similar to flying to the moon, just a slightly longer flight?
Oh, not exactly. That is a huge misconception. People think it's just the next hop over.
I hear that phrase a lot. Not exactly. It feels polite, right? Like you're correcting me, but gently.
It is very polite. It feels soft. I'm not saying you are wrong. I'm saying, well, almost, but let me fix that detail for you.
I like that. A soft correction. So why isn't it like the moon? What is the detail I missed?
The moon is 3 days away. That's a long weekend camping trip. Mars is a long haul.
A long haul. That sounds heavy, like dragging a suitcase up 10 flights of stairs.
Perfect image. When you use long haul, you should feel the weight of time. It implies a struggle. It implies endurance.
So we aren't just talking about distance here, we're talking about time.
Right, we're talking about 7 to 9 months of travel one way in a tiny metal can.
7 months? Without stopping for snacks? That's a serious survival test.
It's a massive challenge. And remember, outside the ship, there's no atmosphere to protect you.
Right. Space is trying to kill you. So how do we stop the sun from cooking us alive?
You need a radiation shield. Think of your house in winter. You have insulation in the walls to keep the cold out, right?
Sure, that pink fluffy stuff inside the walls.
Exactly. A radiation shield is like that, but for deadly solar rays.
Interesting.
Grammatically, it feels like safety. It's a barrier.
So it stands between me and the danger, like a bodyguard made of metal.
Yes, but actually water makes a great shield, so you might sleep surrounded by water tanks to block the energy.
Water? Really? That's wild. But imagine trusting a wall of water to save your life for 9 months. Trapped in a box, nowhere to run, just the black dark outside. Think about that for a second.
It's terrifying, but that's the job. You must trust the science. I'm in this for the long haul. It shows you won't quit.
So we survived the 9-month trip. We land on the red dirt. Honestly, the first thing I want to do is open the window and smell that fresh alien breeze.
Please do not do that. That is a very, very bad idea.
Why? Is it smelly? I bet it smells like old rocks.
It isn't the smell, Ryan. It's the pressure.
I see.
If you try to take a breath out there, your lungs would not be happy. In fact, they might explode.
Explode? Okay, wow, that escalated quickly. I thought I could just sip the air.
Not a chance. Mars has a very weak atmosphere.
Got it.
It's like a blanket that's full of holes. It doesn't hold heat and it doesn't hold air.
So it's not just about oxygen.
No, it's about thickness.
Mm-hmm.
We call this thin air. Imagine being on top of Mount Everest, but 3 times higher. There's just nothing there to breathe.
I think I get it. Thin air feels weak, like when you try to drink a milkshake but the straw has a hole in it.
That's a great analogy. You suck and suck but get nothing. Air becomes your most precious resource. You have to carry every single molecule.
Okay, let's bring this back to Earth. How can our listeners use long haul tomorrow?
Use it for goals. If you start a business or learn English, tell your partner, I'm in this for the long haul. It's every single molecule with you.
That sounds exhausting. I remember hiking in Colorado once. I walked up one flight of stairs and felt like I was dying. You've been there, right? Gasping for air after doing absolutely nothing.
Oh, absolutely. Now imagine that feeling, but purely deadly.
Oh,
That is why survival on Mars depends entirely on your gear, specifically the pressure suit.
is that just a fancy word for a spacesuit?
It is more specific. A pressure suit physically squeezes you.
Really?
It hugs your body to keep your blood from boiling. It acts like a second skin.
A hug that stops my blood from boiling. That is surprisingly comforting in a weird way.
Think of it like a deep sea diver suit, but in reverse. It keeps the inside in and the outside out.
Got it. So don't open the window, wear the hug suit. Check.
Precisely.
Before we take a break, give us something practical. How can our listeners use Take a Breath tomorrow? Hopefully not on Mars.
Use it to calm someone down. If your friend is panicking about a test, say, hey, just stop and take a breath. It means pause and relax.
Speaking of staying alive inside that tight suit, all this talk about breathing is actually making me incredibly thirsty.
Well, imagine you are hiking in the desert, but your backpack has a leak. You can't stop at a store. That is Mars.
That sounds like a nightmare. So, do we bring a giant swimming pool of water with us on the spaceship?
We can't. Water is heavy. To ensure our survival, we have to do something drastic. We must recycle everything.
When you say recycle everything, that feels intense. Like more than just putting a plastic bottle in the blue bin?
Much more. It means nothing is wasted. Old clothes, packaging, and yes, even the water that leaves your body.
Wait, are you telling me I have to drink my own sweat? Or worse?
Absolutely. On the International Space Station, yesterday's coffee becomes tomorrow's coffee. It's a massive engineering challenge, but the water is actually cleaner than your tap at home.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. So, linguistically, how does recycle everything feel? Is it just about trash?
No, it feels total, complete.
If you say, I'm going to recycle everything in my closet, it means you're changing your whole lifestyle.
Got it. A total transformation. So the water system on Mars basically works in a circle.
Exactly. We call it a closed loop. Think of a sealed glass terrarium with plants inside. Nothing enters, nothing leaves.
That phrase, closed loop, sounds very technical. It feels secure, but maybe a little bit claustrophobic.
It implies efficiency. There are no leaks. Use this phrase at work when a project is finished and self-sufficient. We have a closed loop system now.
I love that. Listeners, I have a fun dare for you.
Aha!
I dare you to try this tomorrow. Turn off the tap while you brush your teeth. Save that water.
That's a great start. On Mars, water is the ultimate resource. Every precious drop keeps you alive.
Oh, precious drop. That sounds almost poetic, like something from a fantasy movie.
It's emotional. You do not say precious drop about a bucket of rain. You say it when there's very little left. This is the last precious drop of perfume.
So it emphasizes value and scarcity. Before we go, give us a practical tip for the word challenge.
Don't just use it for problems. Use it for goals. Say, I'm ready for a new challenge at work. It sounds positive and brave.
Wait, if we are struggling to find just a drop of water, that honestly sounds exhausting. It makes me wonder about the actual schedule here. When are we packing our bags?
Do not pack your suitcase yet, Ryan. I hate to break it to you, but a permanent city on Mars, it is definitely decades away.
Decades away.
Oof, that makes sense.
That hits hard. You know, culturally, we live in a world of same-day delivery. We want our pizza in 30 minutes and our Mars colony tomorrow.
Exactly. Space does not care about our impatience.
Fair point.
Saying decades away feels heavy. It implies a very long wait. You use it to lower expectations.
I see. So it's a reality check, like saying flying cars are still decades away. It kills the hype a little bit.
Precisely. We have to fix the atmosphere and secure every resource first.
Tell me more.
It's a massive challenge, so we proceed step by step.
Step by step. I like the rhythm of that phrase. It feels much calmer than decades away. It sounds manageable.
It's steady. Think of it like a massive home renovation.
Oh,
You can't paint the walls if you haven't built the roof yet. You have to go step by step.
that makes total sense. Otherwise, you just have wet paint and no ceiling. I bet you figured that out immediately.
Correct. In science, step by step emphasizes safety over speed.
Interesting.
If we rush, people die. If we go step by step, we survive.
So if this is taking decades, it sounds like we are building a house that we might never actually live in.
That is the reality. We're the architects, but the residents, that is for the future generation.
Future generation. That sounds incredibly noble, but also a little bit sad. It means we missed the party.
It's selfless. It feels like planting a giant oak tree.
I see.
You know you will never sit in its shade, but your grandchildren will. We do it for the future generation.
Wow. That is a beautiful perspective.
Oh,
It's a gift to the people coming after us. Before we wrap up this series, give us a practical tip for step by step.
use it to calm someone down. If your friend is stressed about a huge project or exam, just tell them, relax. Just take it step by step.
Okay, Dr. Leo Vance, take a deep breath. Are you nervous?
A little bit. Your questions are usually dangerous.
No, these are simple. Welcome to the lightning round. Fast questions, fast answers. Don't think, just speak.
Okay, I was born ready. Hit me.
Question 1. You are packing your bags for Mars. You can bring only one personal luxury item. What is it?
Oh, that is tough. My acoustic guitar, definitely.
A guitar? Really? Not a photo album or, I don't know, a soft pillow?
No way. Space is full of machines, beeping noises, and cold metal. I need wood. I need music. Strumming a song, it keeps you human when it's that quiet outside.
That is actually beautiful. Okay, question 2. Food. You have been eating dried space powder for 3 years.
Oh,
You finally land back on Earth. What is your first meal?
pizza, immediately. A giant, greasy pepperoni pizza. Space food has no texture, you know? I need that crunch and the hot cheese.
You're making me hungry. Okay, next one. Best space movie of all time. Be honest.
I have to say The Martian, hands down.
Why that one? Why not Star Wars?
Because The Martian respects the botany. Matt Damon growing potatoes on Mars? That is actually plausible science.
I love that movie. Okay, final question, the big one. Are we alone? Will we find aliens on the red planet?
I want to say yes, but probably not in the way you hope.
So no little green men inviting us for tea?
Sadly, no. We are looking for microbes, tiny fossilized bacteria from billions of years ago. It's not dramatic like the movies, but it's still life.
Well, ancient bacteria is a start. Leo, you survived the lightning round. All right, let's bring it back down to Earth. We threw a lot of big space words at you, but let's see how they fit into your actual life.
Exactly. Because while you might not visit Mars next week, you will definitely need these words at the office or the grocery store.
Let's start with that first big one, atmosphere. In the deep dive, we talked about the thin layer of gas around Mars.
You might have heard us say the atmosphere is like a blanket, but in daily English, we use this to describe the feeling or the mood of a place.
Oh, I use this constantly. Like if I walk into a cafe and there's soft jazz playing and it smells like cinnamon, nice atmosphere.
Perfect. Or a bad one. If everyone is arguing, the atmosphere is tense.
Got it.
So use it tomorrow. If you go to a nice dinner, tell your friend, I love the atmosphere in here. It is so cozy.
I love that. Okay, moving to a higher stake word, survival. On Mars, this is serious business, life or death.
It is, but native speakers love to be dramatic. We use survival for anything difficult that we just barely get through.
Like my morning commute without coffee.
Precisely. You're not actually dying, but it feels like it. You can say, my survival this week depends on getting enough sleep. It emphasizes that you're struggling, but you'll make it.
Speaking of struggling, we mentioned a few phrases about difficulty earlier, like long haul.
Oh yes, that's a great one. Being in something for the long haul means you're committed for a long time. It captures that weight of sticking with something even when it gets tough. And when things get stressful, remember to just take a breath.
Good advice. Now, let's look at the next word, challenge. We talked about the engineering challenge of recycling water.
You might have heard us say that space is a challenge. In English, a challenge is different from a problem. A problem is just bad.
A challenge is hard, but it tests your skills. It invites you to be better.
That is a great distinction. So, climbing a mountain is a challenge, not a problem.
That makes sense. Use it at work.
Fair point.
Don't say, this project is too hard. Say, this project is a real challenge. It makes you sound professional and ready to work. It sounds positive.
I like that spin. It's very optimistic.
I will take optimistic. That is the Mars spirit, right?
Which brings us to our last word. We talked about water being a precious resource.
Yes. A resource is anything you have a limited amount of that you can use to help you.
Tell me more.
On Mars, it's air and water. But on Earth?
Money? Time?
Both. Time is actually the most common way we use this. You might hear a boss say, we don't have the resources for that right now. They usually mean they don't have the money or the people.
So I can use it for my own energy. Like if I am too tired to go out?
Totally. You can say, I used up all my inner resources at work today. I just need to sleep. It sounds a bit fancy, but it gets the point across.
Dr. Leo Vance, thank you so much. My brain is officially full.
My pleasure. Heavy luggage for the trip back to Earth.
You know, listening to you just now, I realized something important. Learning a language, it is exactly like landing on Mars. It feels huge. It feels silent. And honestly, sometimes it feels scary.
Because you were in a new environment, you feel exposed.
Exactly. Like you don't have enough oxygen. You don't have the words to breathe.
But remember the habitat strategy. You do not build the whole dome in 1 hour. If you try to do everything at once, the structure collapses.
Right. You just tighten one screw, you lay one brick. So listeners, don't try to build the whole city today. Just pitch the tent. Just learn one new phrase. That is your victory. Here is your challenge for tonight. Go outside, look up, find a star or that red dot, and tell us in the comments, what atmosphere does the night sky give you? Is it lonely? Is it peaceful? Or maybe electric?
I hope it is hopeful.
We separate the science fiction from the facts, but the feeling is yours. Next time, have you ever done this? You walk into the kitchen, you stop, you look at the fridge,
Oh, I know exactly where this is going.
and suddenly, blank. You'll have no idea why you're there. It feels like a glitch in the matrix. We'll explain why that happens. This has been the Daily Spark Radio. See you next time.